Hello, hello, making a clay video for Gary Inmendham. There's 1,000 or 10,000 things I needed to say, and I don't know if I get it all into this video, but I will try. Before I get started with my criticism, I need to say something positive because that also needs to be said, okay? First of all, I wanted to thank you, Gary. Thank you for being there. Thank you for putting yourself out there. Thank you for sharing all of these things, thoughts, and also about your personal life. You know, if everyone would show their own personal life, I mean, the world would be a lot more colorful and a lot more interesting, and we would see, if we saw behind the facade of most people what's going on in their lives. I mean, it gets pretty zesty out there, you know. So it's like, don't feel like you are exposing yourself, or you are, I find that very courageous. You have self-humor, you you show people what's going on also in your life. That's I find that extremely important, you know, because that addresses the nitty-gritty of things, because neither one of us is sort of separate from the suffering that is happening worldwide, you know. We are not separate from it. None of us is separate from. People might pretend to be separate from it, you know. Some guru or something tries to show only his flawless facade, and then behind the scenes there's all kinds of turbulence going on, and stuff, and alcoholism and drugs and kink and this and that and cravings and so on. We all have it, you know. Everyone has it, but very few people dare to show that to the outside world. And if they did, then other people would go, he has that too? What? She has the same feelings I have? If you had any idea, all of you guys and women out there, you know, how many people share the same issues that you have, that you suffer from, and that you're embarrassed about, and that you think that is so creepy and embarrassing and so on, you know. But a lot of people suffer from very, very similar things. Okay? And the pain, it's all the same pain. It's all the same. Ego energy is the same. It's all feverish and heated, you know, in all of us, you know. It's all hurt based, you know. We've all been hurt, almost all of us, except for Robert and Bindi Irwin. That's what I'm always saying, you know. So, and the mother from, and the father Irwin, you know, Steve Irwin. So that family, they're the only ones in the world, I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's someone else, but they don't have the emotional pain. And if there is any pain there, then it is very, very minor. It didn't affect their lives in any way. So their immune system and brains are able to work that through, if there is any. And I know they suffer from the world suffering in that sense, you know, and they do their best to help the animals and make the world better. But the rest of us, we have been we have been we have been churned through a brain torture tumbler with our parents and grandparents and so on. My grandfathers tortured me mentally, and my mother. So, you know, we all have stuff going on. I have OCD too, you know. I have all kinds of things, you know. I have to do mantras sometimes and pujas, and I feel energies, It's also, some people don't believe it. I believe it. Maybe it is just my mental illness. So, but energy and mental illness it's a gradual thing. It is, you can't make a distinction where one ends and one starts. So it's all mixed in with one another. It's all jumbled into one another. So we all got the issues, and if everyone was more honest, would make honest videos. For example, Anna Nicole Smith, the reason why so many people watched her shows is because she put herself with all of her addiction and mental illness and everything out there. She put this all out there for the public. So, and I think with a deliberate intent, at least with a deliberate soul intent. So in order to show the world, none of us is perfect. We're not perfect. Whether you are a VIP from Hollywood, or a dancer, or a bordel mother, or a CEO, whatever we are, we are not perfect. Nobody, none of us, okay? None of us is flawless. And it's okay, It's okay. Modern art says it's okay, We are we are in a constant flux, in a constant movement. We're constantly reshaping ourselves. And I'm also using this now because my brain is kind of like all over the place. I'm nervous about this video. I don't know how the video is going to be perceived by you and others, and I don't know if I'm going to be misunderstood again, because I'm always misunderstood. Happens a whole lot. And I don't want to miss anything that I've been wanting to say. It's like the stuff just keeps racing through my head, like since last night after that chat. It's like there are so many things I wanted to say also in the chat. There's just no way I can put all of this into the chat. It's like a one sentence conversation. One sentence, you got one sentence, and then the other person has to talk, and you can't do two sentences. Then you have to wait, and it's like, yeah, that's just not gonna work for me, the way I talk all the time. So, and then with one sentence, like, it's easy to misunderstand someone. It's also easy for an ego to say, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean by this? But I really wanted to say like an hour more of things. So, and I wanted to, explain this in more detail and all of this. So from all angles and perspectives, so that the ego does not have any more ammunition to meander its way out from under the issues and facts and truth. So we all suffer, and it is horrible, and living is very difficult, extremely difficult. Okay, that's why I'm an anti-natalist for sure. Okay, but I'm not gonna force that on the other animals. So I'm not for animal breeding. Okay, so I think that is definitely unethical to breed any more animals. Cows, pigs, dogs, making them suffer and so on, ending up in bad people's families, beaten, tortured, ending up at the shelter, being euthanized, and so on. It's all horrific. But I'm not going to press the red button, and I already said it in 2008. You probably, I don't know if you remember that conversation, or the contribution I gave to that conversation. also with Nick, the modern mystic, in regards to the deterministic universe. So modern mystics escape mechanism, his ego's escape mechanism. I don't have to do anything, I can just lean back, drink my champagne and drive my Ferrari. He bragged about his Ferrari, his red Ferrari. I have a red Ferrari. Ho 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 ho. But anyway, because I was constantly after him in regards to taking responsibility, and everyone has tremendous amount of responsibility. Okay. So, but we can make the world a better place. Okay. How about that? How about making the world better so that we, at the end, can say, at least I did my contribution to make the world a better place, so that I don't have to sit here for the rest of the night and complain about other people not taking responsibility. At least I did something. We engaged in conversations and so on. Yeah, but I'm not going to press the red button and destroy or delete, even if it just deleted everything. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I only delete the psychopath. So that's for sure. But no, the animals and the birds, I observe animals. I observe birds. Maybe there's some suffering, definitely some suffering. But what I see is that they have a tremendous, tremendous zest for life. We should not project our misery and suffering, caused by our cold parents, distant cold mother, and so on. Project that onto the animals. That's also something Friedrich Nietzsche was pointing out when he said the human is a dangerous regression and treading on the spot. It's like it's a rope over an abyss. It's an unfinished product between ape and superhuman. So, and we see that because of the neurosis that is being given from the parents to the children in an ongoing, perpetuated cycle. And that's why I want to say to the world, don't have children, okay? And also don't breed any more animals. Let them do their own thing. Don't breed any more animals. There are millions and if not billions of animals in shelters that people can adopt. Okay, so I only adopt, and I also want everyone to go vegan. I have my vegan t-shirt on from PETA. Go vegan. It shows all the farm animals and no more breeding and all of this. But don't delete the animals. Maybe you can delete the human species if you want to, but not the animals. And then, yeah, maybe another human type of species, maybe another shuddering and standing still type of species will evolve out of it that resembles humans. It probably will. So the chimpanzees might be the ones that will create the next one, then, or even the octopus, or the blue whales, or the macrocephalus, or any of the whale species. They're even more evolved. I think they have already surpassed humans, so they're not going to regress, so they're not going to create something like a human. The octopus, maybe, yeah, but I think the octopus also has surpassed the human. in terms of sentience, so in terms of kindness and all of this, and introspection. So from what I've seen, so about Octopus, I wish people would watch these films, then instead of playing video games. That would really help. We can make the world better, it's in our own hands. It literally is, like the clay. It is in our own hands how we shape the world. And then we don't have to sit there and complain and feel unempowered and blame the government or Hillary Clinton for things, or blame each other, or blame women for not liking men. It's a lot of men that will say, they just didn't like me because, because of skinny legs, or what, I've heard all of this. I heard men say these things. She left me because of my skinny legs. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. She did not leave you because of the skinny legs. She left because you're a douchebag. So that's the fact of life, with that particular person, and or any person who will blame a woman for leaving them for external ugliness or whatever. So that's just projecting their own vanity onto other people. Not everyone is like this. Many people are, but not everyone is like this. And if we really connect with one another, then we can also make the vanity go away in ourselves and in others. So connect, the real connection. I'm not talking about a sexual connection. I'm talking about a real person-to-person connection, when we really listen to each other and not let the ego say, I'm not going to read his books. Why should I even read his books? But if you don't read his books, then you don't have an authority on judging on his books and on his philosophy, So, and most people don't read Friedrich Nietzsche's books. They might read 2 pages and say, what the fuck? That's all crap. So that's all Pollyanna. What kind of person is that? He's crazy. No, he was just someone who was incredibly tuned in with the infinite, and who saw what's going on, and someone who criticizes humans more than anyone else should not accuse Friedrich Nietzsche of accusing humans so much, if you do it yourself. So, and we all do it, and more or less out of an unempowerment feeling. And even, Friedrich Nietzsche too had unempowerment. The women didn't want him. He blamed it on his mustache. But then again, he had to make the mustache that long. So, and then he said, well, I guess they all don't like my mustache. So that is a very strange trap he sets himself. And all by the ego. It's like, it's self-sabotage. Most humans sabotage themselves really, really mega. They could do it so much better. But why do they sabotage themselves? But Friedrich Nietzsche knew. He was aware about all of this. He shredded himself apart. He said, you have to burn yourself to ashes to come back out like a phoenix, to come back out totally new, to be the real person. What he means by this, of course, is you have to burn the ego. You have to completely let go. You have to let go of the vanity and all of these things. And then you see, what's left over. And what's left over is the inner child, that inner child is in tune with art and love and compassion. It's that those those are the truth elements, the truth. Okay, and that's why I said that last night. I said that is the meaning of life. And then so I told my husband Paul about this, and then he always takes your side, by the way. And he's very similar to you, very similar in the way he controls things, and the way he limits his mind with atheism. It's like, I know that people will probably find that really terrible when I say this. I get along better with atheists in general, and I appreciate atheism. I've been one myself, but obviously it is not. It is also based on knowledge and measurement, and it is based on something that is extremely limited. It goes up to here, and then it doesn't go any further. And if you remember the conversations from 2008, when I said what came before the Big Bang, something came before that, right? Like a compression, like a black hole, okay, that initiated this process. And then how did it come to the black hole? And are we going back into a black hole? And is this a pulsation, and is this ongoing, and are there other multiverses and universes and solar systems and energies and black holes and wormholes, and what else is going on there, and supernovae and all kinds of incredible stuff, and collisions and smoke and dust and particles and energy conversion and creating new material that's totally different dimensions, and all of this is it just is, it's there, and it keeps on going. It is endlessness. And when we are facing endlessness, as I talked about this many times in my videos, endlessness is truth. That's infinity. The infinite cosmos is truth. And it's a wonderful thing, and we don't have to be afraid of that. Christians are very afraid of that, so they say, no, there was a beginning, and there's an end. Yeah, then what comes before that, or what comes after that? And who created your God? Okay, you did, your species did. So, but they don't, then they leave the conversation because it's just too scary, it's like, then they call me Satan, and it's an easy escape mechanism from the ego, but Gary, you do something very similar, and my husband also, and many people all the way around the globe. They come to very easy labels. They can be offensive, the labels addressed at me. They can be mean, they can be this or that, they can be kind of cutie, they can be baby talk, they can be whatever. They could be called Pollyanna, they could be you pull it out of your ass, they could be, whatever people use, or they could be this is irrational, or, it's like, how are people who say there's a limit rational? How is that rational? Because it isn't, because it totally defies mathematics. Because that's the, I'm not very good at math, but that's the one thing I know, because that's where math hits philosophy. When we ask the question, what comes before that? Then we have to face the fact that there is infinity, okay, that there's an infinite cosmos out there. People will say, yeah, but there are many cosmoses, and there are many of this or many of I'm talking about the infinite cosmos, not just one universe. So that's why I don't even want to use the word universe anymore. There's one infinite cosmos, and in this one infinite cosmos there are many things happening and all kinds of things, and we can speculate on it, and it's interesting and so on. It's good to look into space, but there's one thing there is for sure. Okay, it's endlessness, and it keeps on going, and it's okay, and it never started and it never ends. So it is infinite. And that's very scary for some people. And I remember my dad couldn't sleep for a week one time when he was sitting, when he was reading about wormholes. He was on a vacation, and he was reading about wormholes, and also that our existence could be sort of like the whole thing could be just a molecule on someone else's body, on a giant. And he couldn't sleep over this. And I find that funny that he couldn't sleep over this. So, because that's something that would not bother me too much. What makes me not sleep is when I see how monstrous the ego escalates in humanity. That's when I get my sleepless nights. And that's when I have to do my pujas and my OCD rituals and my prayers to the infinite cosmos, which I call Blue God. And then people can call that baby talk if they want to. But, to me it's also a statement, because, I don't want to say to the believers out there that you are all full of shit, you should turn to atheism. No, that's not, I used to do this, that's not my intention. I want atheists and believers to look at the facts, and to look at what's really there, the truth, the infinite cosmos. And that we can call that anything we want. We can also call that blue God, or pink God, or pink love, or whatever we want to call it. It's there, and the infinite cosmos is alive. It is alive, just as the earth itself is alive. My body is a cosmos in itself, my brain particularly. And in my body it's a powerhouse. It is infinitely powerful what's happening inside of there, the self-healing modalities, the interaction. There is a super intelligence happening in my dog's body, and in my body, and in your body, in all of our bodies. Okay, and when people get sick, it's because they have burdened their bodies to a degree where it becomes very, very, very straining and stressful for the immune system to keep up with all the pathogens and all the negative thoughts and all the unempowerment affirmations that people are doing, and the hate and the struggling. All of this is energy. Our bodies, they react to energy. We see that particularly in animals, because they're totally tuned in. I'm getting a little warm now. I have to take the jacket off. And when my arm is sweaty, and the jacket doesn't want to come off, it's kind of like taking off wet gloves. So anyway, I wanted to wear a pink t-shirt, but the pink t-shirt was already getting dirty, and I wanted to wear a clean t-shirt for you because I respect you. So Schopenhauer. So from Nietzsche to Schopenhauer, non-sexually, as friends, as respectful. I know you don't see me as a friend. I see you as a friend. Anyway, even if you hate me, it doesn't matter to me. So because I respect you and because I think it's great what you did, and this is what I wanted to say. More than anything else is you saved my life in 2006. Yeah. So I think that's when I found you, 2006. So I was like, wow, I can't believe it. A heavy metal rock and roller guy talking about all these things that have been going through my own mind, and me living in a religious enclave type of area, where I have absolutely nobody to talk to at all in person. There was one other artist friend of mine, Rita, and we went to the library and we drew each other's faces and stuff like this. And I gave her the drawing that I made of you, that I made in 2008 with ball pen. So I think I deleted that entire channel, Nicola, too, because of my mental illness stuff and because of getting mad and stuff like this. So I've deleted a lot of channels because of that. And then I have a lot of dormant channels, and I don't know, they're dormant. I hope no other entity took over them, and I hope no troll or hater took over that and tries to make me look bad. And that's something I noticed. Bella, the happy loser, I think you remember her. She is amazing, and she made many videos for you, and they were amazing, the videos. She really, really clear, as a real friend, from friend to friend. But you were in resistance, as you are. You are in resistance to everyone who offers you some insights, and I think that is sad. Why do you limit yourself like this? Why do you let the ego get away with that kind of behavior? So she said a lot of good things. I don't agree with her on everything, and I don't agree with anyone. 100%, okay? And that is okay. It is okay that we don't agree on everything, I love conversations with people. That would be, and also I wouldn't even believe people if they said, I believe everything you say. Then I would get mad and I would say, that's unempowerment. Don't do that, you have to stand on your own feet, don't follow anyone. Don't take anyone's word for anything. Right? So just find out for yourselves. That's my message to everyone out there. But anyway, what I saw with Bella, I had lost touch with her then for a couple of years, and then I was looking for her because I remembered her and I really admire her. And she's a reincarnation of Rudolf Steiner, by the way. And that just came to me later, this I don't know, insight, I can call it, but suddenly it's there, these kind of things are there. So, but I'm not the only one who saw that you are Arthur Schopenhauer. There are some other people too. And I was like, well, I was amazed to see that other people see that kind of stuff too. So, and that made me feel less crazy. So anyway, I saw that when she quit YouTube, I don't know where she is right now, but she went on another website where they make videos. I tried that for a while, it didn't work at all. So it's just, there's no responsiveness at all, and it was very lame. YouTube is more dynamic, it really is. And I like Google, even if they have issues and infiltrators, it's still a really great company. And I will only buy Google products, and no other products from now on. I love the Chromebook, works very well. They offer good prices. They try to make the world a better place, and I really, really, really respect them for that. And so YouTube, yeah, they had infiltration. They may even have been bribed because they took away the video response feature, where people's thumbnail in response to other people's videos were shown under the video. So now it's just this random video offering from the AI, and so many videos get lost because of that. And I think that was a corporate move to prevent people from becoming atheists, and I want people to become atheists. This is like that's the next step they have to take. It's like an intermediate step that's very important. I'll get into the panpsychism in a moment. Just wanted to say that Bella, she lives somewhere out there in Czechoslovakia, I believe. I don't remember exactly what it was, or Serbia, or somewhere out there in Eastern Europe. And she learned English on YouTube, and it's absolutely amazing. Like all of them out there, all of these Eastern Bloc country people are amazing and intelligent, like Mirka, my friend Mirka, and Christina Rath and Irina, and all of these amazing people, and these beautiful, beautiful women out there. So anyway, she dropped her channel. She didn't delete it. And then when I went, I found her channel again, so that there was like this random activity on there, but not in video form. So the last video had been made like 4 years before that. Before I checked on it, it was around 2008 or 2009, and no, 2010, something like this. And instead there were someone pretended to be her, someone who had taken over her channel, pretended to be her and said some racist things, which she would have never said, I know for sure. So I knew right then and there that some trolls and haters, they take on people's dormant channels, and that really sucks. That's really awful to make someone look bad like this, someone who tries so hard to make the world better and to bring clarity into the world and all of this. And makes me very sad that people, they don't listen to anyone, what anyone says. They filter everything through the goggles of their ego. They hear everything through the ego, and they think, oh, they either think, I'm jealous of her, or he is more seen, and they don't hear what the person himself has to say, Or they all go, he is or she is a clown, why does she have more viewers? It's like the ego always only goes by those kind of things. And I see this all the time. I see it with all kinds of people throughout the generations and throughout the world, and all kinds of different people with different backgrounds, and they all do it because the ego is always the same thing. It's exactly the same thing, just has a different shape and different story, that's all. But it's the same. The ego is always the same thing. It's the same energy of suffering, the same stream of sorrow where it comes from, And I'm not going to get into the soul development. That'll be just too much to talk about this. But if anyone is interested, you can go to Caring Psychic Readings. So I will explain all of this there. All of these insights, they came much later in my life, and they didn't come from anyone. So I'm usually not into psychic type of people, because those are all scams. So it's just these kind of insights, they come, and people can accept it or they can leave it. Don't insult someone because you don't accept what they have figured out for themselves, or what kind of insights they have, or discussions they have, or metaphysical experiences they have. So when it comes to metaphysics, first of all, I used to be really afraid of it. That's why I fled into atheism for a long time. And then, my husband confirming that atheism, and we together fled into a very miserable, that was before the internet, into a very miserable state of mind in LA. were like we against the world. And I got these terrible migraine headaches, and so then, it's a long story how what happened that completely took the headaches away, but it was not a religion. I can say that for sure. Okay, so that came from seemingly nowhere. But that's another story. I wrote a book about this. It's on Blogger. It's called Betty. No, it's not. It is. It's not Betty. Betty is the book that I translated. Betty is also about me. It's about my child play therapy with Annalise. No, it's news from Betty. I haven't looked into this in a long time. So my book is called News from Betty, because Betty is the book Annalise wrote about my child play therapy when I was 6 in Germany. And so that was a success, that book, and I translated a third of it, and I'm planning on translating the entire thing. So, and then maybe I'll put it on Kindle. I don't know yet. But News from Betty is something I've been working on for many, many, many years. So, sort of like an update on my situation. A lot of people have asked what happened to Betty. And so a lot of things happened in the meantime. And so I use my own story to highlight some of these mechanisms that happen in us, the psychological mechanisms. And nobody is, we are not, we may look very crazy and may even be very confused and jumbled up and all of this, but we are not crazy as in condemned, Nobody is crazy and condemned, okay? We are just, we're just struggling with our pain of the past, and that's what's going on. So when I found you on YouTube in 2006, it was like, oh, there's a friend, and you were rude, and as you are with almost everyone. It's a defense mechanism, and yeah, people have feelings too, they will all feel invalidated and rejected because of this. Not just rejected as a girlfriend material, but rejected in general. And I felt rejected on all levels, because I had a crush on you, and so it was pretty tough. So it was very painful, yeah, because I have insecurities like almost everyone has, and I felt ugly, and I felt rejected, and I felt it was very painful. I cried a lot, and it's okay, it's all okay. It's part of my school, and that's how I see it. And we grow from that also. but what's much more important is you saved my life, because I thought I was gonna go really insane with all of these Christian fanatics around me everywhere. And I felt like Paul and I were stranded here. It was really, really insane. So, and it felt creepy, like in horror movies. And then we saw one horror movie where a Christian couple, they were trying to kill an atheist couple who happened to go backpacking in their vicinity. So I don't know if some of you are familiar with that film, but I didn't agree with everything in that film, because then they tried to also slander herbal medicine, and they tried to put that into the same drawer as the Christian religion. And that's, first of all, unfactual, because the Christian religion is against herbs. They're against nature. So that's wrong right there. And nature works. So, herbs work. There are some people that are so hyper skeptical they don't even accept herbs. So there was this one atheist lady I met from Slovakia before I met Mirka, atheist lesbian lady, and she had written a blog that was a feminist blog, and I complimented her on that, and I found her on Facebook, and I felt her suffering and all of this. And then everything was pretty cool, but she was kind of like, I could feel she was very, very on edge. And then she started to promote her book, and I thought, oh, cool, nice book. I wouldn't get mad at someone promoting their book that she has on Kindle or now was on Lulu. And I said, cool, good for you. Nice, it's good to write books. And so I said, hey, let me share my book with you. And as soon as I shared my book with the ultimate holistic healing, the ultimate holistic rejuvenation program, I always miss this. So it's on Kindle, and I showed her the title and the photo I've chosen for that book, and she completely lost it and flew off the handle and started attacking me. And I could see how some people are so extremely volatile, and you are too, Gary. You are a volatile person, very similar to that lady from Slovakia. I forgot her name now, it's been a while back now. And why do you guys do that to yourselves? Why don't you introspect, and why don't you must see how volatile you are, but the ego will turn this around and say, yeah, but it's my husband does that too. Yeah, but they did it because they were so stupid. Yeah, that's not enough of a reason. If we are physically attacked, then we have to defend ourselves. If we are verbally attacked, it's good not to verbally abuse back, because that's war. So it doesn't lead us anywhere. But if someone is just being stupid and happens to trigger your ego just without even knowing it, most people don't even know they triggered your landmines. So then what's the point? What's the point in flying off the handle like this? What is the point in this? How is that going to help anything? How is